The handshake lasted barely 3 seconds. 3 seconds. That was all. The usual exchange at the net between two professional tennis players who had just finished fighting through more than an hour of pressure, sprinting, sliding, and emotional survival on the grass courts of Birmingham. But something about this handshake felt different immediately. Not dramatic. Not theatrical. Quiet. Human. And somehow far more powerful because of it. Because what happened after Alexandra Eala defeated Mananchaya Sawangkaew 6-3, 6-2 in the quarterfinals of the Birmingham Open was not supposed to become one of the most emotional moments of the tournament. This was supposed to be a routine storyline. Top seed wins. Favorite advances. Crowd celebrates. Tournament moves on. Instead, what unfolded over the next several hours reminded the tennis world that sometimes the most unforgettable moments in sports happen after the final point has already been played. Because long after the Philippine flag stopped waving inside Edgbaston Priory Club, long after the chants of Laban faded into the evening air, long after Alexandra Eala walked off center court to prepare for the biggest semi-final of her grass court career, Mananchaya Sawangkaew walked into a press conference room and said something nobody expected. And suddenly, the entire tennis world stopped talking about winners and losers. They started talking about respect. The atmosphere in Birmingham that evening already carried emotional weight before the match even began. You could feel it in the crowd. Filipino flags draped across railings. Thai supporters clustered together near the baseline. Families wearing homemade shirts. Fans standing in line hours early just to watch two Southeast Asian stars battle on one of the sport's most traditional grass court stages. That alone mattered. Because for decades, Southeast Asian tennis players rarely occupied center stage during important weeks on the international tour. The infrastructure gaps were enormous. The funding differences were obvious. Young players from the region often grew up fighting for visibility in a sport dominated historically by countries with far deeper systems and resources. And yet here they were. A Filipino rising star already being discussed as a future Grand Slam contender. A Thai fighter climbing steadily through qualifying and proving she belonged at this level too. Two athletes carrying far more than their own careers every time they stepped onto the court. That emotional context made the quarterfinal feel bigger than rankings. Bigger than prize money. Bigger than points. Because this match represented possibility. And both players understood that. For Alexandra Eala, the week already carried enormous pressure. She arrived in Birmingham not simply chasing another title run, but trying to rebuild momentum after a difficult clay court season that had raised uncomfortable questions about fatigue, physicality, and confidence. Grass was supposed to reset everything. And suddenly it had. Her movement looked sharper. The aggression returned. The left-handed serve started carving impossible angles again. Most importantly, she looked emotionally free. The opening rounds reinforced that feeling immediately. She demolished Priscilla Hahn in under an hour. Then survived a tougher emotional test against Alina Kariva, showing resilience when momentum became unstable. By the time she walked onto center court for the quarter-final against Sawangkaew, she looked increasingly like the tournament favorite everyone expected her to be. But Sawangkaew herself was quietly building something dangerous. People outside hardcore tennis circles often underestimate qualifiers. That is a mistake. Qualifiers arrive hardened. Every day already feels like survival before the main draw even begins. Every match matters desperately. Every victory builds emotional momentum. And in Birmingham, Sawangkaew entered the tournament carrying exactly that kind of dangerous energy. She fought through qualifying, then defeated strong opponents in the main draw without dropping a set. Her confidence grew visibly every round. The movement sharpened. The timing improved. And perhaps most importantly, she arrived at the quarter-final carrying motivation far deeper than ranking points. Because her history with Alexandra Eala already stretched back years. Their rivalry had become one of the most compelling emerging stories in Southeast Asian tennis. The first chapter came in Japan at the 2024 Tokisaki Open. At the time, Both players were viewed as promising young talents still trying to establish themselves internationally. That match became a war. Eala took the opening set and looked ready to advance. Then something shifted. Sawangkaew refused to collapse. She extended rallies, absorbed pressure, stayed emotionally steady while Eala grew frustrated. Eventually the Thai star stormed back for a 3-set victory that left a deep mark on both players. For Sawangkaew, it became proof she could beat elite young talent under pressure. For Eala, many believe it became a turning point. Because after that loss, her game evolved noticeably. The fitness improved. The emotional composure strengthened. The ability to close matches became sharper. Defeat forced growth. And when they met again at the 2025 Southeast Asian Games, the dynamic had completely changed. That match carried national weight. Philippines versus Thailand. Gold medal on the line. Hostile crowd conditions. Pressure everywhere. And Alexandra Eala produced one of the most dominant performances of her career. 6-1, 6-2. Clinical. Fearless. Historic. The victory ended a 26-year drought for Philippine women's singles tennis at the SEA Games. For Filipino fans, the moment became unforgettable. For Sawangkaew, the loss hurt deeply. But what happened afterward mattered even more. At the net, Eala embraced her rival warmly. No arrogance. No celebration in her face. Just respect. Real respect. That moment quietly shaped the relationship between them moving forward. Because unlike many modern sports rivalries manufactured through social media drama and forced controversy, this one developed differently. No bitterness. No insults. No fake tension for headlines. Only mutual admiration between two players pushing each other higher. And that emotional history followed them into Birmingham. From the opening games, the quality of the quarter-final felt high. Far higher than casual fans probably expected from a WTA 125. Quarter-final. Sawangkaew attacked bravely early. She forced Eala into a brutal opening service game filled with pressure and break points. The crowd felt the tension immediately. Because while Eala remained the favorite, Sawangkaew clearly had not arrived simply to participate. She came to compete. And for stretches, she absolutely did. The first set scoreboard eventually read 6-3 for Eala, but the score barely captured how physically demanding the exchanges became. Long rallies. Sharp angles. Constant movement. The quality of shot-making from both players forced the crowd into that beautiful rhythm only tennis can create. Silence during rallies, explosions after winners. But eventually Eala's class began separating the match. Her heavier ground strokes created more damage. The left-handed serve opened the court beautifully. Most importantly, her composure never wavered even when Sawangkaew threatened momentum swings. The second set followed a similar pattern. Competitive early, then gradually tilting toward Eala's control. And when the final point ended with Sawangkaew's backhand drifting long, the crowd exploded. Philippine flags waved wildly across the stadium. The chants started instantly. Laban, Laban. Eala smiled, exhausted but composed, and walked toward the net. That should have been the end of the story. Instead, it became the beginning. Because Sawangkaew did something unusual during the handshake. She held on. Only briefly. But long enough for people watching to notice immediately. She leaned forward and whispered something quietly to Eala. The microphones could not capture the words. The cameras never revealed them. But body language tells stories too. And suddenly the emotional tone of the entire moment changed. Sawangkaew's shoulders relaxed. Eala smiled warmly. The two players squeezed hands again before separating. It looked less like a routine professional exchange and more like two people sharing mutual understanding after surviving something emotionally difficult together. The crowd noticed immediately. So did commentators. So did fans watching online. Social media exploded with speculation almost instantly. What did she say? What happened at the net? Why did the moment feel so emotional? Nobody had answers yet. Then came the press conference. And suddenly everything made sense. The media room inside Edgbaston Priory Club was packed tighter than usual that night. Journalists from Manila, Bangkok, London, Melbourne. Everyone sensed something emotionally significant had happened on court. And when Sawangkaew finally entered the room, the atmosphere shifted instantly. She looked exhausted physically, but calm, centered. There was no bitterness in her expression, no frustration, no visible resentment after another loss to the Filipino star, now leading their head-to-head rivalry. The first question sounded simple enough. What are your thoughts on the match? And then Sawangkaew delivered the answer that stunned the room into silence. Alex is incredible, she said softly. Not forced. Not performative. Genuine. Every time I play her, I learn something new. Not just about tennis. About myself. The room froze. Because athletes say respectful things after losses all the time. That is normal. But this sounded different. There was vulnerability in it. Honesty. The kind athletes rarely reveal publicly after painful defeats. Sawangkaew continued carefully. I knew coming into this match she was the favorite. She's ranked higher. She's more experienced on grass. She had the crowd behind her. Then came the line that changed everything. But I didn't come here to win. I came here to compete. Silence. Complete silence. And suddenly the entire emotional framework of the match shifted. Because those words revealed something bigger than disappointment. They revealed perspective. Sawangkaew was not measuring herself only by scoreboards anymore. She was measuring growth, progress, improvement. That mentality changes athletes. Then came the moment that truly broke the room emotionally. A reporter asked her why she whispered to Eala at the net. Sawangkaew smiled softly. I thanked her. The journalists leaned forward instantly. For what? Sawangkaew paused for several seconds before answering. For making me better. You could physically feel the atmosphere change. Every time we play, she continued, I see where I need to improve. I see the difference between where I am and where I want to be. And I go back and work harder. Then her voice caught slightly. That's what rivals are supposed to do. Not tear each other down. Lift each other up. The room erupted. Not polite applause. Real applause. Emotional applause. Because everyone inside that media room understood they had just witnessed something rare in modern professional sports. Grace. Real grace. Sawangkaew had every reason to feel devastated. She lost again to one of her biggest regional rivals. She watched Eala move one step closer to history while her own run ended. She could have blamed conditions, pressure, luck, scheduling, anything. Instead, she chose admiration. And the tennis world responded instantly. The quotes spread across social media within minutes. Filipino fans embraced Sawangkaew completely. Thai fans felt heartbreak and pride simultaneously. Even neutral tennis fans found themselves emotionally moved by the honesty of her response. Because sports culture often trains athletes to hide vulnerability, to protect ego, to manufacture tension. But Sawangkaew did the opposite. She admitted another player inspired her to improve. That takes enormous emotional maturity, especially after losing. Meanwhile, Alexandra Eala herself responded beautifully when asked later about the moment. She called Sawangkaew one of the kindest competitors she has faced and praised the Thai player's fighting spirit throughout the tournament. Again, no manufactured drama, only mutual respect. And honestly, that may be why this rivalry suddenly feels so important. Not because of hate, because of growth. The best rivalries in sports history rarely succeed because opponents despise each other completely. They succeed because they force each other toward higher levels. That is what seems to be happening here. Sawangkaew pushes Eala emotionally and tactically. Eala forces Sawangkaew to evolve. Every meeting reveals new layers. And both players are still incredibly young. That matters. Because this story is probably only beginning. Both women continue climbing. Both represent nations, desperate for deeper tennis success internationally. Both carry huge emotional support from fans across Southeast Asia. And every future meeting between them now carries additional emotional meaning because of Birmingham. Because now the rivalry stands for something larger. Respect, growth, representation. And perhaps that is what made Sawangkaew's press conference resonate so powerfully around the tennis world. People are exhausted by fake outrage, manufactured feuds, forced drama designed purely for engagement. Instead, they watched an athlete lose gracefully and still choose honesty over ego. That feels refreshing, human, real. Meanwhile, Alexandra Eala continued marching deeper into the biggest grass court week of her career. The semi-final against Rebecca Mazarova loomed ahead. Wimbledon's seeding possibilities suddenly became realistic. The pressure intensified enormously. But before all of that came another emotional realization. Birmingham had already produced something unforgettable beyond trophies and rankings. Two Southeast Asian athletes showed the world what modern sportsmanship can still look like. Not weakness, strength. Because respect requires confidence. And Sawangkaew displayed enormous confidence by publicly praising the rival who defeated her. That kind of maturity usually arrives much later in careers. Yet there she sat in Birmingham reminding the entire tennis world that competition and admiration do not have to exist separately. You can desperately want to beat someone while still respecting what they bring out of you. That emotional complexity is what makes great rivalries beautiful. And deep down, both players probably understand this story is far from finished. The head-to-head now favors Eala. The rankings currently favor Eala. The spotlight currently belongs to Eala. But Sawangkaew's response after defeat revealed something equally important. She is not broken by the losses. She is motivated by them. That changes future matches completely. Because athletes who learn from pain become dangerous eventually. And somewhere beyond Birmingham, beyond grass season, beyond this particular week, another chapter between these two players is almost certainly waiting. Maybe at Wimbledon someday. Maybe at the Asian Games. Maybe deep inside a future WTA event with far bigger stakes. And when that rematch arrives, fans will not only remember the scores. They will remember the respect. The handshake. The whisper at the net. The press conference that stunned the tennis world. And the reminder that sometimes the most unforgettable moments in sports happen after the match is already over.